For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, we are live and amplified. So let's get ready to podcast.
Fire it up.
Welcome, everybody, to another live and amplified livecast. I'm your host, Tom Quiet, and we are back at it again with another amazing podcast. Today, we have a very special guest. We have Myth of Her. How's it going today, guys?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Awesome.
How are you going, Tom?
Doing pretty good. It was a busy day at work. I work for a news station, and with everything kind of going on, it's been...
For a news station?
Yeah, I work for a TV station.
Sick. How's that?
We'll just... It's a job. It's an adventure.
Fair enough.
So, but no, it's been a great day. I'm excited to have you on. I was a little unsure if this podcast was going to go because I hadn't really heard from anyone. So I shot you guys an Instagram message. I was like, "Hey, this thing's still good, right?" And I think
we had the date saved. We were talking about it for the last few days.
Awesome. And then it was like 4 hours later, somebody finally responded. I was like, yes. All right. Because you wouldn't believe how many people just kind of like forget. So,
yeah.
But it's super excited to have you guys on, chat a little bit, talk about the new single you guys got going on. I know you guys mentioned earlier that you're working on some new stuff. So before we kind of jump into all that, well, first of all, let's have everybody kind of introduce themselves so people have names to faces, all that fun stuff.
Yeah. Well, I'm Felix. I'm the drummer, the best drummer you'll probably ever hear.
I'm Cooper. I'm the rhythm guitarist in the band.
I'm Tyler. I'm the lead guitarist in the band.
I play bass guitar. I'm Jara.
And Joel is our singer, and he's not currently here. He's feeling a little unwell.
He's ill.
Gotcha. Awesome. So, what's kind of the origin story of Myth of Her?
Well, it's sort of all... the four of us actually played in another band together with a different singer.
Yeah.
Under the name of Falcon or Fall. And we were going really well with that, but things just weren't really working out. And Tyler here, the lead guitarist, was studying at TAFE and met a chap with a whole bunch of attitude and just like an amazing aura to him and a kick-ass vocal box as well.
Yeah.
And he sort of married us together, and that's loosely how it all happened. And
yeah, because in Falcon or Fall, it was like drums with the singer versus us kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like the instruments versus singer, essentially.
Yeah.
So when that sort of ended, we were just kind of like, because we all have like really good chemistry, like just as mates and then also musically. So like we'll just obviously keep going. Mm-hmm. And then and then I found Joel at TAFE, which is like a sort of study place. It's like an education thing in Australia, Sydney.
Yeah.
He just had his sick voice, and he was like super, like his attitude was just like he walks in the room, he just threw his bag on the floor, just comes up, kicks his feet up, and he's just like, "What are we doing today, miss?" And I was kind of like, I'm like, polite, just kind of not so like that. And it just really attracted me. And turned out, we really got along together. And we sort of brought him back, and then we just sort of kept going. It was like quite natural, really.
Yeah. So is there a sound difference between your previous band and this band, or is it pretty much?
Definitely. It's generally more complicated, more intricate, and generally a heavier, denser sound, I would say.
It's just more intense. It's just, I don't know.
And it kicked up a notch with the live shows as well. The performance is a huge part of what we do.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And how long have you been playing together as Myth of Her?
2 years. 2 years.
Okay.
2 years last week.
Nice. So just you guys started playing together as Myth of Her, right before the pandemic. And then obviously pandemic's going to do what a pandemic's going to do. And
we say we're kind of a COVID born band, really. Like born into it. So we really known it.
For sure. So where does the name Myth of Her come from?
Well, we were all scrambling for names, and I was researching Greek mythology one evening.
That's how you do.
As one does. And I scrambled upon myth of and was some Greek god. I actually have no idea who or what he does. And I was just like, ooh, I quite like the ring to that, like had a bit of a ring to it. And I posted it on the chat. I think we had a meeting the next day, and Tyler was like, what if we like, I don't know, it sounds a bit complicated, like doesn't really, like it's hard to understand. What if it's myth of her? Like it'll resonate more with the people.
Put an H in front of it.
Yeah, put an H in front of it. And like it's more kind of normalized or westernized even. And yeah, and then we just kind of sent it from there, I suppose. Pretty much.
Well, the suggestion for myth of her came about, and then no one really liked it that much. So we like set it aside.
It did happen like that, eh?
And then it was like, oh shit, we still don't have a name. 2 months later, probably we came back.
But we love it now. We love it now.
Yeah.
What were some of the, was there any other names you were considering for the band, or?
Yeah, Dog Stew was a big contender.
No.
Rosetta Stone was a serious one.
Rosetta Stone.
Was.
Nice.
Black Rhino. Lioness. Yeah, we had a few. Yeah.
Cool. And then, so just to kind of get to know you each individually a little bit better, what's kind of each of your stories and journeys into music? What got you into music? And we could start with whoever.
Well, my brother was actually a drummer, and so like I kind of got brought up, like my parents always wanted us to sort of learn a musical instrument. So my sister learned flute, my brother learned drums, and just kind of as I got older, I just leaned more and more towards the drums, and my brother started giving me lessons. I then started doing it in school and playing in like pretty much every band I could. And from there, just kept on rolling.
Yeah, for me, it's funny. I don't have close relatives. I don't have a lot of musical, descendants. But I feel like in the wider kind of realm, I have a couple of like musicians, and on my dad's side, they were a bit hippie in that like they encouraged expression. So for that, I delved into like as my creative expression as music, and I met these boys in school. Like I've known them for ages, and they were super encouraging and kind of drove that in school mainly. But yeah, that's me.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, my dad played guitar, and he'd always sort of like just play around me. So I kind of like, I guess got used to that. And he started teaching me a little bit, and I started learning the songs that he used to learn that just like triggered, you know? And there was a lot of things that I tried in life. Like I tried footy, which is like NRL. It's like Australian rugby league, you know?
Yeah.
Did like soccer, actually not soccer. I don't know, a bunch of different sports, taekwondo, all this different stuff. And guitar, which I guess music in a sense is the only thing that I never really wanted to quit. Yeah, by the way, I quit all the other things. And music is just the only thing that there was never really a thought of it leaving. I don't know. It's just like too much of me. Do you know what I mean? So, and that just sort of progressed and then kept getting better and finding better people to play with. Just sort of go like that, really.
Yeah, for me, it probably was because similar to you, my dad was in, and still is in a rockabilly band. And his band was always rehearsing and playing gigs around the house. And so I guess I sort of grew up with that around, but music never really was an anchor in my life until probably late high school. And I went through phases of playing guitar and trombone, but I really actually stumbled into the ukulele in year 10. And that's what sort of drove me to play music again.
It's actually sick how ukulele's like the person that's
the gateway.
Yeah. He's a little song, look.
Hey, there's a lot of cool songs you could play on a uke. So I mean,
yeah. Sure.
Cool. And then so, I take it you're all born raised in Australia, maybe not necessarily Sydney, but
yeah, pretty much. I studied from Sydney, and this mongrel's from Canberra. He grew up in Canberra.
Gotcha.
I don't know. We found it.
We're so close.
Gotcha.
day.
Awesome. And so the band was essentially born during COVID, and you just recently released your debut single, right?
Yeah. It's exciting stuff.
So go ahead and talk about the single. What's the name of it, and what's kind of the story behind it?
So Lizard Man was probably not the first song we wrote together, but one of the first grooves that was really solid and came to us.
By the way.
That's the single. That's the artwork.
Nice.
It's called Lizard Man, and it's very much sort of like a funk rock sort of origin, very much influenced by like early Red Hot Chili Peppers, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Goes off live, and it's always been a favorite of ours.
It's different. It's just different. It's kind of got like it's like a real funk rock element, but it's not like just classic funk or classic rock. It's kind of like it's like a Myth of Her.
I think it puts everyone, it exhibits everyone's skill quite well. Like all of us, it kind of gives everyone a taste of us individually in the band, and just kind of like our overall love for fucking the music that we play.
It's personally my favorite song we've made.
Gotcha. And so are you building towards like an EP and LP, or are you just kind of doing singles right now?
Yeah, so we're sitting on sort of a backlog of songs that we've got. A few of them are recorded. We're releasing a few more singles this year, and then hopefully later at the end of this year we've got our EP. But yeah, we've got more to come. Just you wait.
Hey, you've had a year and a half of COVID, or actually 2 years, I guess, at this point. I just had a moment of realization that COVID's been around for almost 2 years.
Hey, it's like we got so used to it.
Yeah.
To be fair though, I think it really did push us to get all of our business side done, like all of our creative aspects. Like we very much focused on it. We weren't too be like, oh, this is the next show. We were like, we're going to get the recording done. We're going to get the creative side done and establish ourselves. And this is kind of our big kind of, presentation to the world starting now.
Yeah. One of the things I think it's benefited us with like extremely well is, because like our first like 5 gigs or something, we were playing to people sitting down, and we had to like learn how to click with each other live and like give that extra energy to a sitting audience. So then when we finally started playing to standing up people, they were like going crazy, A few times we actually did it so intense that we'd like get the crowd who was sitting to stand up. We got shut down a few times with that.
Lights on, speakers off, like everything.
Yes.
And that was pre-COVID, or was that after? During?
Everything during COVID.
Yeah, this is all during. Yeah.
Gotcha. Cool. But you guys had that chemistry, or a bit of chemistry built from the previous band that you guys, and the fact that you guys are friends outside of music. So it was just a matter of figuring out what you wanted Myth of Her to be, and the sound and the feel and all that fun stuff.
Exactly.
How do you kind of deal with trying to separate Myth of Her from your previous band, since it is pretty much the same band minus some member plus a new member?
To be honest, it wasn't all that hard. Our band beforehand was pretty low key. Like we were all still in high school. It was pretty much just a band for fun sort of thing. And then the creation of Myth of Her was pretty much us taking that next step and trying to become like a proper band, make a statement on where we play and gain as much traction as we can.
Totally. I think another thing is like, as a band, we all pride ourselves on like kind of collectively, creatively building like diversity in what we make. And I think that really strengthened how we approach Joel, because we kind of have this diverse way of creating things, so we can just mesh to people's creative direction. You know what I mean? So it's like in that regard, we were all in a state of growth. We were all pretty young and we were ready to just fucking send the next thing,
Nice. And then
Joel as like a singer is almost like we found a lost person in a way. No disrespect to our last singer, our old singer, but it's like we actually found our person, because I feel like there's not that many people that can just take the experience of 4 humans that have together and like, you know, just cop that and just turn it into something that they can throw back at you and then together kind of thing. Like he really, like Joel, he was just one of us essentially musically, like he just kind of fit in, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
Was like totally seamless on both sides, him to us and us to him.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And so kind of going back to Lizard Man, which is your debut single out now, you said it released yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Now that you're, what's that?
All platforms.
Now that it's been out for about 24 hours, what's kind of running through your minds right now?
We're kind of just amazed at the amount of support that we've got. Because we've had like so many people sharing it around, so many people sending us messages saying they love it. Like when's more coming out? Pretty much. It's just like the wealth of support that has come in for us is just mind blowing, and we're all really appreciative of that.
Yeah, like I wasn't really expecting as much as it was. You know, even other bands were like sharing our stuff. I was like, yeah, thanks very much. Like it just felt really nice.
I mean. That's always the interesting part, because when you're in the band and you release a song, it's like, okay, you want people to listen, you want people to share, but you're so focused on, oh, this next gig, this next practice, or you've listened to the song 1,000 times already. So it's like, or you know, and it's just kind of like, yeah, you know, cool, appreciate it. And then you
know what, it's like a bird and be like, oh, like, can you do this? That's why it was so like a really nice surprise that it happened naturally. You know?
Yeah. And then you've listened to it 1,000 times, you've played it probably 10,000 times, you know, and so it's just kind of like it's so ingrained into your subconscious. It's like, I know it's a good song, but I didn't think it was that good of a song, or, you know, like whatever, but so it's always interesting to see how bands kind of react and interact when they release that first single or that 20th single.
It was definitely a welcome surprise.
Nice. And are you guys planning on doing any like videos for like music videos, or is that not something that's crossed your mind yet?
Yeah, we are planning on doing a music video. I might pass this on to Tyler.
Yeah, we're actually... I don't know. We don't talk about this.
Yeah. So we're involved.
Don't feel pressured to share anything that you're not ready to share.
Oh no,
that's cool. Like we were involved in a movie shoot, which was an amazing opportunity. And it just so happened that they wanted Lizard Man in the movie, and so we shot a few scenes of us actually playing the track. And so
the whole track as well, like the whole song, having an original movie was amazing.
Oh, it was insane. Like proper movie as well.
Yeah.
It's called Six Festivals.
Nice.
Yeah, it's coming out in like June or July, but we're hoping to get some of the footage from that and be able to probably churn it with some of the live footage from gigs and things, and turn that into a music video. Keep it really raw, just like the track.
Yeah, exactly right. The track's raw in it of itself.
Yeah.
It was a funny story with that as well, because we were going to play on this movie, but they didn't know. We gave them a list of songs to choose from, and by sheer coincidence, they chose Lizard Man, our first single. Yeah. So it worked in our favor, but we haven't received the video yet, so we're waiting on it.
Nice. And this is like a worldwide released movie that's coming out, or is it more like regional?
Yeah,
Paramount. Nice. That's what's up. You know, Australia and New Zealand, like the last year or so, maybe because of the pandemic, but it just seems like they're getting a lot of the movie business right now.
Yeah.
You know, I got a friend that lives in Sydney, and she's working on something for Amazon Prime or something. I'm like, all right. Yeah, it's like a series. It's like a series or something.
The Lord of the Rings series?
No, it's like a TV series or something, like a digital series or something. But you know, it's interesting. But I know a lot of my film friends that have gone over to New Zealand, and they stayed there for 6 months, and it's like New Zealand, Australia, all that over there, and it's got to be because you guys it's a little bit easier to keep things quarantined, I'm guessing. There's
Yeah, 2 big islands.
yeah, it's kind of my guess, but no, that's awesome. I'm really excited that Lizard Man is doing really well. It obviously still very early in the process of releasing and getting it out there. You're day one of a several year race, I guess is the best way to explain that one. So before we jump on to the next thing and move kind of forward, who is the main driver of like the creative process behind Lizard Man?
Well, the way we kind of make songs is we've found out is fairly unique. Because we're kind of all involved in every step.
Yeah.
So it's not like one person sort of takes control. It's more like we all have our input and we all kind of work off that, and we take everything into account and sort of take everyone's view and try and make the best possible thing we can out of it. So we're all involved.
So there's not really
song.
one main, it's kind of all of us.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
which is really cool, because as you get further down the road and they start divvying up royalties for like writing and all that stuff, at least at this point, you don't have to worry about that because everybody's equally involved. So
what are most bands' answers for that question?
I mean, honestly, a lot of the bands we have, it goes to this debate a buddy of mine and I've been having about the difference between a band and a project, where it's like a lot of the bands that we have on there, it's like one person is like the lead singer, or it's like the Buddies Swamp Dwellers or something like that, and it's like one person. So like they're the main creative person, and then even with like some of the bands, it's like one or two people are like this.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
We recently had a guy, and he was sort of saying that he thinks it's super strange how he writes, like hasn't really seen it much, and it's been kind of weird because I don't know, it just doesn't seem like many people do that.
We've just never known anything different, really.
I didn't think it was that much of a like. I didn't think. I thought most.
Well, I mean, like the way you.
To be honest,
like the way you guys have it set up makes a lot of sense, because it's like, how are you going to have one or two people come in? Like you have the lead singer and lead guitars. Let's just say it's that. How are you going to have them two people come in and tell the bass player how to do their instrument, or the drummer, or the
I don't get it. Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
So
it's a strange concept.
Yeah. Like the fact that you guys are saying this, it's like, now that you mention it,
it's weird.
I haven't. Yeah.
It's
wild.
We've been faced with recently. Like what?
Yeah. So Lizard Man out now. I'm sure more people are going to go listen to it as the days go on. But obviously, since people are already asking you guys, and the song's only been out for 24 hours, what's the next steps? What do you guys got coming up?
Well, as Felix was saying before, like we're sort of on track to releasing an EP, and it's all recorded and ready to go. So we have another single that will be coming out. We're expecting late May.
Okay.
Which is more of a slow, heavier rock song called Chasing Alice.
Grungy.
Grungy. And very much our singer's baby, that song. But we're very excited for that one too. We'll have a big show for that as well, but we'll have 3 singles from the EP and then release the EP itself. So
our main next step now is the big gig for the release in April 8th.
Okay.
We're playing in a pretty big venue in the city, in the heart of the city, called the Metro Theatre.
Yeah, if any Americans want to fly over and feel free, we'll welcome you in on the door.
Are they allowing? they allowing people to come over to Australia?
I don't think so. Well, you can all be our family, and that'll be okay.
It's like we're coming over. We're quarantining for 2 weeks, but it is what it is. So, no, but that's funny because Australia has been a place I've wanted to go for years, and then
Shithole.
And so like once the pandemic started, we started doing these podcasts online like this, and the first musician I had on was from Sydney, and I'm like, all right, cool. And we started talking and just kind of having a good time, and I'm like, all right, like, can you help me get more Sydney or Australian artists, not even just Sydney? And then from there, it's like, damn, I probably have more friends in Australia than I do here in the States, which is like wild. It's,
over then.
Well, it's a bit expensive. I'm not going to lie. The trip's a bit expensive. And because I'm a bigger, taller guy, I'm not going to go sit in coach. I need a little bit bigger seat, how that goes. So I've priced it out a few different times, and it's like, it doesn't get any cheaper. So, but no, that's awesome that you guys got a big show coming up in April. What are you guys kind of doing to prepare for the show in April?
Currently, we've kind of built this massive, well, not massive, relative to us, massive production sort of thing where we've got projectors and we've got sort of a lighting sort of map out of how the show is going to go, and we're like full set, ready to send it as hard as we can and just make the best possible show.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely pulling in things for promotion, and we want to do cross promote. Yeah, merch. As well.
Yeah, I got merch, guys.
I'm digging the bucket hats. Those things are sick.
Hey, you like it?
Yeah. I was sitting here, I was like, oh, they're all wearing bucket hats. That's amazing. And then you're coordinated, it's awesome. I dig it.
Shameless self-promotion.
Hey, that's what this is all about, right? Sell it. Go for it. So no, that's really awesome. I'm really excited to see what you guys do over the next year and years. And as borders open, who knows, the Australia trip is definitely in the cards. It's just a matter of when. It's just a matter of when, So really excited for that one. And then after your April show, you said May for the next single, right? End of May. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we'll come to you.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah, that's a way better idea. Let's go to America.
That's our next step.
All right, that'll work. We'll figure it out. But no, it's definitely a good time. But like outside, let's talk a little bit outside of music and just kind of everyday life. So when you guys aren't playing music or working or any of that stuff, what are you doing? What are some of your hobbies, stuff like that?
Making music, really. When we're not together playing music, we're at home making music. Like my life is pretty much apart from work, which I pretty much just do to fund the band and fund music, and like my entire life is just music, just music. I don't know what else I can say. Just music.
Maybe
Besides the job, do I fund your music addiction?
I work at a pub in the wee hours of the night just to get that cash together to buy more drums and more cymbals and more drums.
Nice.
We all have similar stories currently, but I have a job in like production and stuff. Actually, I'm working on a Amazon Prime thing, so I was wondering if your friend was working on the same thing. But mainly at the moment it's just to fund. It's just to fund
a show as well. What show is it?
It's called Class of 07. Do you know?
I honestly don't know all that much about it. I just know like they wrapped up production like yesterday. I think yesterday was like the last day.
They wrapped up. Actually, that could totally be it. That's actually really strange.
Did you wrap up yesterday as well?
They wrapped up. I know they wrapped up like like very recently.
What's her name?
Okay. Bernie Van Thiel.
No, I have no
No,
idea. Bernie Sanders?
No.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm working to fund, my music endeavors, our music endeavors, and
Going out endeavors.
yeah, going and nothing else.
Gotcha. Sick. Does anybody else do anything fun outside of music?
I don't know. I used to surf. He's more into surfing now.
Yeah, I suppose I surf.
used to
If
surf.
that matters.
And it's kind of sad, but it's just literally, going out.
Nice.
It's kind of the other kind of big one, really. I don't know. I like to, because we're rehearsing and working so often. I just like enjoy just sort of doing not much during downtime usually, unless it's like kind of like going out. So it's I don't know. But then just the usual stuff, like I guess go on the beach, like hang out with people you like, meet new people. Just I don't know. It's nothing like too. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like Joel, our singer who's not here, would have the best response for this.
Okay.
Researching geopolitical discussions. A lot of it, I think a lot of the work that we do as well is to the business of the band. Like we treat this business like it is a business, you know what I mean? So it's like a lot of our downtime can go towards, fixing up our website that's coming out next week. Shameless plug. Or just preparing merch, getting artists, all the there's just so much on the cards when we are our own team. Like that's our team, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
sure.
I suppose sometimes I love networking and meeting people, and just the past week I happened to go on a 5-day bender, and that was largely because of the music industry and seeing bands and just meeting people.
Very business oriented.
Entirely so.
Sue just does business.
That
was a drink, by the way. That wasn't a body part.
Gotcha. Fair enough. But I don't want to keep you guys too much longer since you had practice earlier and all that fun. First off, may have asked this, but how was practice? How did practice go today?
Yeah, pretty good. We were working on a new song.
Just working.
So, just getting our creative juices flowing. Because recently we've been pretty much just stuck playing our old songs, getting ready for the show. And so we kind of took time today just to create and get back to what we do best, really.
Yeah, so pretty good.
Sweet. And then do you have any shows coming up before the April show, or is that the show?
We got one on the 25th at the Marrickville Bolo.
March.
25th of March at the Marrickville Bolo, which is a fairly well-known venue in Sydney.
It'll be rowdy. It'll be loose.
Yeah.
So we got that as kind of our warm-up back into playing live shows.
Nice.
And then, pretty much just the 8th of April, our release gig, just making it as big as possible, making sure we're all warmed up and ready to go.
Yeah. You got to do some kind of a warm-up gig, because when was your last show?
Would have been
January.
Yeah, late January.
All right.
So not too bad considering. How often would you guys like to play when global pandemics aren't happening?
Weekly.
Every week.
Yeah.
Every day. Every chance we get.
Every waking minute.
Yeah, ideally we're actually hoping to get a van and actually be on the road a lot of this year. But the market for vans is quite competitive at the moment.
And we're broke.
We're broke. Yeah. So we're actually planning to leave Sydney for a month or so and just travel up and down the coast, see if we could adapt our set to acoustic places or even play some jazz bars or country bars and just get stuck into a gig life sort of thing.
Yeah.
But soon to come.
For sure. And when you say up the coast, you mean from
to Brisbane area, maybe, because
Yeah.
Brisbane has a really, really good music scene that I've heard. I've never been. But yeah, like I would try to get up and down the coast relative maybe to Melbourne. I reckon that'd be
heading south a bit.
Yeah, because I've spent a lot of time planning a trip that hasn't formulated yet, from Sydney to Melbourne to Brisbane. And it's one of those things I always feel bad because Perth is like way on the other side of the country. And it's like,
Hey, don't forget Adelaide. Adelaide's a good place to be.
Well, actually, we got kicked out of the Adelaide music group. So Adelaide's just kind of there.
Oh my God, Adelaide.
What's the Adelaide music group?
I don't know. There was a music group at one point. It was like a Facebook group. And we were in there, and I was doing a fundraiser, and I was like, hey, this guy that was on playing, he's from Adelaide, come in and show him some love. And he's like, he's not from Adelaide. He's from this place. And then they kicked me out. I'm like, all right, whatever. So, I was like, that's kind of an interesting thing. So
snobs.
Yeah. But yeah, so anyways, no, that's awesome that you guys have ambitions of getting out and touring, doing all the fun stuff that bands do, and I'm sure you'll find a way to make it work once you get a van, which hopefully won't be too hard to pull off, but I don't know the car market in Australia, so but gotcha. So before we kind of wrap this thing up, we got to do one thing really quick. Everybody that comes on here gets one spin of our random question generator.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
He knows.
So if you guys are ready, I have your question.
Yeah, give it to us.
What is a useless topic that you can ramble on for hours without any actual knowledge of?
Any knowledge of?
So does that mean you're faking it?
Yes.
Like,
Something that you think you know a lot about, but don't actually know anything about.
Star signs.
Oh, yes, that's definitely
star signs.
Astrology.
Astrology shit.
I feel like that's pretty easy.
Gemini. Are you a Gemini?
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're super aggressive in the March. I don't know. Something's in retrograde. Fucking shut up.
I feel like that's a pretty easy one to jump to. So awesome.
Oh no, that's glad for that.
That's good. But once again, I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out. If anybody wants to check out Lizardman or anything else you got going on, where's the best place for them to do that?
Well, the easiest place to probably be is Spotify. But yeah, we got it on Amazon. We got it on iTunes. Pretty much most of the major streaming services, you can listen to it.
Check out our Instagram.
Yeah.
Check out our Instagram at
Myth of Her.
Nice.
We got stuff coming every week, bi-weekly. Let's
get some merch. We did it next week. Next week the website's launching.
Yeah.
you can order it. Bam, bam, boop.
Awesome. If you guys ship stateside, I might have to make a purchase, but I know how that international shipping can be sometimes. So
we'll try and get some stuff sorted. We'll have things up and running.
Awesome. I know through our website, like the back end place, they have a printing press for merch over in Australia, and they just opened that recently. So now it's just like cool. They could people in Australia could buy our stuff.
That's awesome.
Oh man.
There's like an exchange rate thing and then like an extra tax. And I'm like, so anytime so if you're in Australia and you want to buy our t-shirt, hold off until I figure out what this extra tax is, because every time somebody buys a shirt, I lose $5. It's like, that sucks. So I need to figure out what this shit is. So
yeah,
right.
But
how many views do we have like right now?
Since I kind of started wrapping it up, we've only got a handful of viewers right now. They all started jumping out as soon as So
was there a couple? Did it get? How high was the peak? Out of curiosity.
I'd have to go back and look. But like live streams, I try and push it as much as I can, but since we just started doing on Twitch, it's not what Facebook used to be, but then Facebook started getting weird. So I moved it over to Twitch about a month ago. So I'd have to go back and look, but you know.
And has Twitch been going good?
It started off good. And then we kind of plateaued over the last week, but we've also not been doing the podcast consistently on Twitch, you know, and plus we've already got a pretty big following on Facebook, but we weren't getting any views.
It was because it's recorded, no?
Yeah, we'll post it on YouTube. Yeah. So like it's up on Twitch and it'll stay on Twitch for 2 weeks. And then we'll post it on YouTube about a week and a half later. So yeah, definitely good times, but all that information of the back end analytics and stuff. I hope everybody enjoyed that. But really appreciate y'all hanging out with us. And we will see you all, I think Wednesday, probably. Yeah. Wednesday sounds about right. So awesome. Once again, y'all, thank y'all for hanging out.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.